Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Patricia Batova Jones, and I wanted today to talk about self-care. I am by vocation a licensed therapist. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. So I do see clients in private practice. And one of the things that I find, especially with a lot of the women that I see in my private practice, is the lack of self care that as most women, we always put other people first before us. And it really has to get to where it's really bad until we finally decide to take care of us. So I really wanted to just kind of do a quick video of some of the self care skills or tools that you can use that don't necessarily cost money. Sometimes if you have it, great, but I think sometimes the idea is that self care is getting a pedicure or taking a trip. All of those things can be part of self care, but it does not necessarily have to cost you money. There's some things that you can do that are free, that are part of self care, being able to replenish yourself, rejuvenate yourself, recharge yourself, where you are the priority and you're not giving to everyone. Because the truth of the matter is, you cannot operate on an empty tank. If mama is empty, it's just difficult for anyone really to benefit from her. So I just wanted to share some of those tips that I found that I shared with some of my clients in private practice, and just to tell you a little bit myself. Even though I am a therapist and I also have a full-time job where I work as a behavioral health coordinator, and I have caseloads of different patients that I manage, and sometimes it can get really overwhelming trying to manage a full-time job, private practice, being a wife, being a mom, and a friend. All of that can be a lot. And so I earlier this year I had really just gotten burned out with work. I just, couldn't focus anymore, couldn't concentrate, between everything I had going on with my health and my daughter's health, and then work had tripled our caseloads. And then, starting with the private practice, it was just too much, and I wasn't good for anybody. So my husband had suggested also that I start seeing a therapist for myself. And at first I was very hesitant, and then I was like, you know what, I'll give it a try. And I'm so glad I did, because my therapist has helped me a lot. I think a lot of the times therapists don't think that they need therapists, and because I feel like, because we know the field, we feel like nobody can tell us really what to do. But I truly believe, and I really recommend, that every therapist or people that are in the helping field have their own therapist, and anyone really should have a therapist, because we go through so much. You need a place, a safe place where you can kind of dump it all out. Someone that helps you process all the different emotions and phases and stages that you're going through in your own life. So I did. I started seeing this therapist that I found, and I'm so glad I did. She's just helped me a lot with some of the trauma that I had not really dealt with just, for example, my childbirth experience, as I'll talk about later. But I did have my first child at 24 weeks gestational. She was extremely preemie. She was a 1 pound 2 ounce baby, and she stayed in the hospital for 4 months. And the reason why I had her so early was because of severe preeclampsia. So both of our lives was in danger, so she had to come out that early. So that experience, and then as a result of that, she had some special needs, that we're still dealing with today. So I never really had a place where I really processed all of those emotions and the trauma and how it had affected me. So really, therapy has helped me to be able to finally deal with that trauma. And so, as I began working with her, my therapist really suggested that I take some time off work to just, take care of me, take care of my health, and I followed her advice. In the beginning it was really hard, because I just felt like I didn't have a real reason to take time off. I'm blessed, I'm alive, but I didn't realize how much the stress was slowly, debilitating my body, and then I ended up with a severe lupus flare up as a result of just all of that stress. So I, wanted to share some of the things that I learned, um, that I started applying and practicing is writing a gratitude journal. That's something that is cheap and free. You probably have a journal somewhere in your house, or you can get one at the dollar store. Just writing a gratitude journal where you write three things that you are thankful for every day. Just starting your day with that, or you can do it early in the morning when you begin your day, or you can do it at the end of your day. Just three things that you are grateful for, and it can be something as simple as, oh, I saw a little boy smile today, and his smile was so cute. I'm grateful that I was able to get out of bed and use my own 2 feet, especially for those of us that have chronic illness such as autoimmune disorder. Just being able to move, being able to stand up and take care of yourself is a blessing, because there has been days where I couldn't comb my hair, where I couldn't brush my teeth, I couldn't dress myself because there was so much inflammation, so much pain. So writing a gratitude journal, find three things. I promise you that there is three things that you are grateful for, and that just really changes your attitude. Instead of looking at all the things that are not maybe working well in your life, but you're focusing on the things that are actually are well in your life, that you are blessed, that you have a husband and a wife or friends or a family, that you have a job, that you have a vehicle that can take you from place A to B. Those little things that sometimes we just, think that it's just part of our lives. But truly, I know we live in a country where there's so much, there's plenty, but little things like that could be taken away from us, such as having a home and having food on your table every day. All those little things that sometimes we just kind of take advantage of. So start a gratitude journal. Number two, something else that I've started practicing, just taking an Epsom salt bath. Epsom salt really helps, especially if you have a chronic illness, which is decreasing inflammation and just, helping you relax in the bath. So taking that time, I know sometimes if you're a mom, it's hard to find that quiet time, but if you can make it a habit, maybe just start with once a week. Let's say Wednesday is going to be my me day. I tell my family 1 hour where mommy needs to just spend time by herself, and give yourself that bath. And you can use a Calm app while you're taking your bath. There is an app called the Calm app. You can use that to relax. It has guided meditation in there. It kind of guides you to that place of stillness, so your mind is not running so fast. So you can do that, or you can read a book, or if you have podcasts, I love podcasts. If there's a good podcast that you like, you can put that on while you're taking your bath, or audiobooks are another option. So that's that. Another thing that I started using when I was doing a vegan challenge with a doctor, Dr. Brooke Goldner, and one thing she suggested to help me with anxiety and relax was to start coloring. In the beginning, I was like, I'm grown, a grown woman like me, coloring. But I started doing some research about it, and there was, data showing that really coloring did help release the tension and the anxiety. So I bought a few color books from the dollar store. They're about $1. So, it can't get cheaper than that. And of course, I had some color pencils at home. But I got new ones just because I love color pencils. And so, I started doing it just because she really, insisted on having that self care time. And she made me do it every night. And I would do where I just draw. But it's amazing how it can really relax you. It really relaxes you, just because at that moment you're just focusing on coloring and following the lines, and it just really quiets your mind. And I even got my husband to start doing it with me, and it was just really great bonding time, just a good time to connect after we put our daughter to bed, and we'll start coloring together. And we really just enjoyed just having that quality time, at the same time using that as my self-care time. So coloring books, try it out. And and of course, another self-care thing that you can do that is free is exercise. It can just be like walking every day. I've really started doing that, and I've been enjoying because of lupus. I have photosensitivity, where basically the sun, I'm sensitive to the sun, and it triggers lupus flare-ups, so I cannot be exposed to the sun. So walking during the day is tough. So I would wake up extra early, around 5:45 or 6 a.m. in the morning, and go walk before the sun comes up. And I've really enjoyed that because not only it's I'm exercising, it's benefiting my physical body, but even mentally, just that time when everything is still quiet. I know nobody's gonna call me at 6 a.m. in the morning. I don't have to respond to anyone. I just walk in that neighborhood. So I usually do a 1 hour walk. I call it my prayer walk because that's also the time that I get to speak to God and just cast all my cares and give Him my day. And at the same time, I am exercising. So walking is another free option. And if you want to invest a little bit of money on exercise, yoga is a great way to exercise, but at the same time you meditating while you're doing the exercise, and it's not too, because I'm not one of those who lift weights, so but it's great exercise that you get to stretch your body, especially if you have um, autoimmune disorder, like lupus, it really helps to be able to stretch and move your body. So yoga is another option. And also, um, yeah, there's other things there that you can try also, such as playing with clay, even Legos. I know it's kids. We usually associate those with kids, but those are things that you can do. Puzzles, word scrambles, those kind of things that just get your mind away from the everyday responsibilities, the cares of life. Painting, listening to music. If you love music, just being able to listen to your favorite song. Take that time when you're in the car to listen to your favorite songs, and that's time for self care. Sing out loud, and that just relaxes you. Another thing that you can apply that might cost some money, but if you have it, it's worth the try. Massages. We have like this place in here. It's really inexpensive for the type of service that you get. It's a foot reflexology. So really, they do a full body massage, but they really focus on your feet, and because there are areas in our feet really that are connected to our brain that helps with alleviating stress. And since I've discovered it, I used to have membership in Massage Envy, and I would pay like $70 a month, and it's not even nearly close to this place where I get an hour and 90-minute massage for $35, but they really get in there. And when I leave there, I feel like truly I had a real massage. So check out, foot reflexology. That might be something that you enjoy to do. So there's that. Practicing mindfulness, being in the moment, being still. I know it's really hard when everyone is pulling from us. I mean, for me, the moment I wake up, I'm already starting to think about my to-do list. But one, you have to be really intentional and being mindful of the time you eat breakfast. Be in that moment and not start rushing to the next thing to do. When you are playing with your child, be in that moment and really enjoy that. When you're speaking with your spouse or your partner, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, be in that moment. Really practicing mindfulness is another, self care thing that you can do for yourself. Okay, and reading books, watching a movie, which I don't really recommend because but sometimes you might just need that. You might need a day of nothingness where you don't do nothing. Sometimes I don't recommend social media, but sometimes you just need to let loose and just give yourself, I'm just going to spend 30 minutes on social media and not feel guilty about it and just relax. So, things like that, what works for you, reading a book, and most importantly, last but not least, just having that time of spiritual renewal. If you're a Christian, I recommend really spending the time with the Lord every day. I recommend an hour, but you may not have an hour. Depending on what season in life you are. You might only have 20 minutes, 30 minutes, but just finding that time where you can cast your cares onto the Lord, where you can speak to Him and release your day to Him and listen to Him, because He will guide you, He will speak to you, He will give you direction on how to strategize and organize your day. The Lord is truly my helper. I couldn't do this life that I do if it wasn't for Him. So, really prioritizing that time that you spend with God in prayer and meditating His words and really taking the time to listen to Him speak to you. Know that it's not just a one-way conversation, but it's a dialogue. So those are some of the tips that I wanted to share with you all on self-care. If you have any other suggestions, comments below, any questions, let me know. I would love to hear your feedback. But I hope this is helpful. I hope that you really take the time to prioritize you and to take care of you. Thank you so much. And subscribe. Thank you. Bye.